Hello everyone, Darkness here, and I'll be reviewing the movie Spider-Man. Not Spider-Man Homecoming, not Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Let's talk about it. It's a great Spider-Man movie, although it's not my favorite Spider-Man movie. I'll talk about its strengths and weaknesses. Strengths is the cast. Tobey Maguire is perfect as Spider-Man. He was born to play Spider-Man. Another amazing part of the film, Willem Dafoe is Green Goblin. Amazing. What's so great about him is he really gets into character as Green Goblin. You don't see him as Willem Dafoe playing a villain. You see Green Goblin, or Norman Osborn, depending on which he's playing. He plays them so differently, they feel like two different characters, which is great. A cast member that isn't the best, James Franco. He's just really whiny and doesn't really add to the story. In the sequels, he's like a more important character. In the first film, he just really sucks. He's there because plot device, he's Norman Osborn's son. That's all he matters to the film. Because Norman Osborn's such a big part of the film, they had to get a way to introduce him. And that way was his son. Because in the movie you see him in the car with his son. So yeah, his son is just a plot device to meet Norman Osborn. And obviously, J.K. Simmons is perfect as J. Jonah Jameson. Does an amazing job as a character. No one could replace him. It makes sense why he's the only live-action actor to play J. Jonah Jameson. No one could touch it. No one could touch his role as J. Jonah Jameson. There's not a better J. Jonah Jameson. Even in the cartoons, video games, doesn't matter. J.K. Simmons is the perfect J. Jonah Jameson. Another strength of Spider-Man's costume. I love Spider-Man's costume. It's the best looking Spidey suit in a film. And it just looks awesome. Now, while the film is very slow paced, which is an issue, it has some really cool action sequences. In the city when Spider-Man's fighting Green Goblin, that was pretty cool. When Green Goblin is in that building that's on fire and Spider-Man fights him, that was awesome. When Green Goblin throws his battering things at Spider-Man and Spider-Man dodges him and then punches Green Goblin in the face, such an awesome moment. That was just awesome. Definitely my favorite fight scene in the movie. And the final fight scene was pretty cool as well. Spider-Man beats up Green Goblin, nearly killed him. And then Green Goblin accidentally kills himself by using his glider. And yeah, it's an awesome ending to the film. And yeah, I really love the movie. And we talked about the strengths. Cast, action sequences, stuff like that. Oh yeah, before I talk about weaknesses, let me just talk about the music. The music is amazing, made by the legendary composer Danny Elfman, who also makes Batman music for Batman 1989, Tim Burton. Imagine making music for both Spider-Man and Batman. That is how you become a legend. Okay, anyway, so the weaknesses of a film. It's very cheesy. The issue with so many Spider-Man films, I have no issue with it, but it makes me cringe. It's really cheesy and corny, which I guess it's Spider-Man, so it fits the tone. But I've never seen Spider-Man this corny, because I've seen nearly every Spider-Man film except for Amazing Spider-Man 2. Because why would I watch that trash? Anyway, it's really corny and it can make me cringe. Every Spider-Man movie is corny. Spider-Man 3 is the least corniest, but it's still very corny. And there's nothing wrong with it if the films have a cringe factor. That's the appealing part of the films. It's corny, superhero movies are corny. Not all films have to be dark and violent, like Zack Snyder's Batman movies, Sometimes you just need a lighthearted break. And Spider-Man's always going to be lighthearted, so it makes sense. Not really a flaw. A bigger flaw, I'd say, I mentioned earlier, the slow pace. And it's very slow paced, which I have an issue with. Sometimes there's over 20 minutes without a Spider-Man fight scene, which just upsets me. Because I want to see Spider-Man fight bad guys. I want to see Spider-Man fight Green Goblin. It's cool. Another issue. Special effects aren't really an issue. They're obviously fake CGI, but it fits. Bad special effects in a superhero movie. It's a superhero film. You're not going to take it seriously, so why should you take the special effects seriously? So that's not an issue for me. But the corniness is kind of an issue. I can ignore the corniness. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. In Spider-Man 2, the corniness fits with the humor of it. When the first Spider-Man, it's just really corny. So yeah, I'd say slow pace and corniness is my issue with the film, and everything else I love. Yeah, I don't know why it's so slow paced. I actually had to watch it more than once, because I couldn't like the film. Something was stopping me. Something bothered me about the movie, and it was its slow pace. I felt there's not enough Spider-Man action in this movie. So I watched it more than once, I realized it has enough of merging. You gotta chill. And yeah, I think it's an awesome movie. Not the best Spider-Man movie, but still a great movie. 9 out of 10.